when Waiishi bought a succubus companion named Kinmo online. At first, she was overjoyed and took the initiative to get close to him every day, longing for intimate affection and determined to tame him completely. Relying on her identity as his master, she forced Kinmo to sleep with her, abide by intimate rules, and indulge herself in acting coquettish, sly and clinging to him. She thought Kinmo was just slow-warmed, and that patience would eventually win his heart. Just as when Waiishi was getting intimate with Kinmo wantonly, she received a message from the customer service. The platform apologized for a wrong delivery. Kinmo was actually a housekeeping-type succubus who did not provide intimate services. Worse still, housekeeping succubi had an emotional critical point for stintimacy, would make them lose control and even threaten their master's safety. Frightened by the warning, when Waiishi immediately pulled back, threw Kinmo's bedding out of her room, and deliberately kept her distance from him. Sensing her sudden cold attitude, Kinmo knocked unheard or late at night, his voice hoarse as he asked if she no longer needed his company. Overwhelmed by shame, when Waiishi made an excuse that she needed to rest alone, frowning slightly, Kinmo said nothing more and moved quietly to the second bedroom. Though relieved, when Waiishi felt a faint loss, she finally realized Kinmo was inherently reserved and resistant to intimacy, with no romantic feelings for her at all. All her previous bold advances were one-sided and forced, leaving her extremely embarrassed. The customer service offered a full refund, which when Waiishi refused. Kinmo was perfect at housework and meticulous in taking care of her life. He made soft milk-flavored steamed buns, kept her clothes and bedding fresh, and tended to her daily life in every detail. She had long grown used to relying on him. The customer service then proposed sending her a real companion succubus as a replacement, and when Waiishi agreed without hesitation, thinking she could turn to a new partner since Kinmo could not satisfy her needs. The next morning, when Waiishi habitually leaned over only to find the side of the bed empty, realizing how accustomed she had grown to Kinmo's company. Downstairs, she saw the extraordinarily handsome and tall Kinmo making breakfast in a pink apron, complaining silently that the platform wasted his good looks on a mere housekeeping succubus. During breakfast, Kinmo lifted her onto his lap to feed her as he once did, a habit she had forced on him before. Knowing the identity misunderstanding now, she struggled awkwardly, insisting on eating alone. Kinmo looked calm and remarked that she indeed needed to be independent, making her more convinced that he had always been dissatisfied with her. After breakfast, Kinmo picked up his helmet and electric scooter key to send her to work as usual. Once her favorite moment to get close to him from behind and linger on the road. Waiishi now refused his offer, grabbed the helmet and left alone, no longer willing to force or trouble him. Kinmo froze in astonishment, but when Waiishi hurried out of the house, soon after arriving at the company, when Waiishi was informed that the new companion succubus Jongchuan had been delivered. Jongchuan was younger and shorter than Kinmo, so she planned to buy new clothes for him after work. She went shopping with colleagues and came home late, missing many missed calls from Kinmo. As soon as she reached the door, Kinmo questioned her whereabouts with a sharp gaze, a side of him she had never shown before as a low-key housekeeping succubus. When Waiishi walked in with shopping bags and a plaid shirt inside, caught Kinmo's eye. He tried on the shirt unconsciously, his strong figure stretching the tight fabric. When Waiishi panicked and explained the clothes were not for him, Kinmo's eyes turned dark and pressed her to reveal the recipient. Flustered yet wronged, when Waiishi put on a stern master's tone, telling him to focus on housework and not meddle in her private affairs. Shocked, Kinmo silently folded the shirt and handed it back. When Waiishi felt guilty seeing his disappointment, but thought it better to keep their distance from then on. That night, Kinmo knocked unheard, or with a quilt wearing wool fear headbands, and the waist chain with bells when Waiishi had given him before, which he had always refused to wear. His charming look almost captivated her, but she remembered housekeeping succubi knew nothing about romance, taking his behavior as mere cooperation with her preference. She refused to let him stay, and Kinmo looked lonely and left reluctantly, softened by his grievance. When Waiishi casually said, She would have a guest the next day and asked him to cook more dishes, actually preparing for Jang Chuan's arrival. Worried about conflicts between the Sakabi at home, when Waishi consulted customer service, she was told different at Rebutte Sakabi rarely fought, but high-level Sakabi had a strong sense of territory, were prone to jealousy, and could even fall in love with their master. Seeing Kinma's restrained personality, when Waishi assumed he was not a high-level succubus, relaxed her worries and looked forward to Jang Chuan's arrival, deciding to take good care of the newcomer as suggested. At the weekend, Kain-mo took her grocery shopping on the electric scooter. When Waishi kept her distance and dared not get close as before, Kain-mo told her to hold on tight when the scooter passed a bump. She bumped straight into his back and still kept her guard afterward. Kain-mo looked gloomy and speeded up the scooter to vent his unhappiness. While shopping, Kain-mo took all the heavy bags and protected her carefully. The cashier teased them as a loving couple, a compliment that once delighted when Waishi but now embarrassed her greatly. She hastily denied their relationship in public, and Kinmi agreed stiffly, walking back quickly and deliberately keeping his distance. When they got home, the door was ajar. Pushing it open, they saw Jang Chuan already there, wearing the new plaid shirt, with cute tiger teeth and claiming straightforwardly to be Wen Wai is his husband. Kin Ma's face turned livid, questioning her coldly for hiding a new succubus. Jang Chuan's blatant declaration of possession fueled Kin Ma's jealousy. At a loss, when Waishi consulted customer service again, only to be told the system malfunctioned and Kin Ma's level could not be queried, with records showing he was not high level at first. At dinner, Jang Chuan tried to ally with Kin Mo to serve their master together. Kain Mo ignored him completely, only serving food and apple juice for Wen Waishi, then locked himself in his room silently. Uneasy when Waishi went to comfort him and promised to grant him one wish, Kin Mo whispered a grieved lie that he wanted her to send Jang Chuan away, refusing directly. When Waishi watched him list his intimate understanding of her habits and emotions, saying the naive Jang Chuan could never replace him. Flustered by his ambiguous words, she fled the room. That night, Jang Chuan took the initiative to get close to her. Simple and naive, he abided strictly by succubus rules and insisted on calling her master. He confessed his wish to make his master linger on him forever. At that moment, the doorknob was suddenly broken off. Kin Mo stood at the door with a dark expression, quietly cleaned up the parts, forced Jang Chuan off the bed, and claimed the right to stay for the night. The two Sakabi argued Jang Chuan regarded himself as her husband and Kin Mo as just a servant, while Kin Mo's overwhelming aura forced him to compromise. When Waishi felt depressed instead of joyful and tossed and turned sleepless lie all night. The next morning, when Waishi woke up lying habitually in Kin Mo's arms, her hand on his abdomen, she broke away in shock, and Kin Mo teased calmly that she had taken the initiative to approach him. His gentle tone made her upset, thinking she would annoy him again. After getting up, Jang Chuan waited on her meticulously and insisted on taking care of her personal affairs as her husband, putting Wen Waishi in an awkward position. During breakfast, customer service delivered an urgent new rule: only one of the two Sakabi could stay in her home, otherwise the instinct of a high-level succubus would lead to fatal conflict. Distracted, Kin Mo accidentally broke a porcelain bowl and burned his hand. When Waishi rushed to cool and dress his wound, usually cold and reserved, Kin Mo acted vulnerable and admitted his pain frankly, showing his reliance on her. Waishi received updated information. Kin Mo was a high-level succubus with top loyalty, who had advanced to high level 3 months ago right after arriving at her home. High-level Sakabi possessed independent consciousness and strong possessiveness, leaving her with no choice but to pick one to stay. For Jang Chuan's safety, she decided without hesitation to keep Kin Mo and arrange the platform to take Jang Chuan away the next day. Feeling guilty, when Waishi planned to take Jang Chuan out for a trip. Though injured, Kin Mo insisted on accompanying them, but when Waishi refused on account of his wound and left with Jang Chuan alone, ignoring his loneliness and soft question of whether there would be another chance. She stayed out late with Jung Chuan and came home after dark. She quietly helped Jung Chuan pack his luggage and told him to wait for the staff tomorrow. In the middle of the night, a hot breath surrounded her, and someone kissed and lingered with her passionately. The next morning, when Waishi felt her all over, Jung Chuan was nowhere to be seen, but she found hickeys on Kin Mo's neck. Flying into a rage, she thought Kin Mo had gone out to meet someone secretly, questioning why he could enjoy intimacy yet always ignored her. Kin Mo blushed and stayed silent, and when Waishi suddenly realized the one who stayed with her that night was not Jung Chuan but him, she tried to wake Jung Chuan only to find his door locked. Kin Mo stopped her from knocking, making her fear for Jung Chuan's safety and quarrel with him. Just then, the recycling staff arrived. Kin Mo suddenly pulled her into his arms, knelt down with red eyes, confessing he refused to be sent away. Afraid she favored Jung Chuan and unwilling to let anyone else stay by her side if he could not. When Waishi finally understood his deep affection and unease and comforted him, Kin Mo easily removed the locked door, and Jung Chuan walked out sleepily. After sending Jung Chuan away, they confessed their true feelings to each other. When Waishi was angry yet touched that he had pretended to be Jung Chuan to tease her, while Kin Mo showed his gentle side and promised to take better care of her. Later, when Waishi learned from customer service that it was extremely rare for a housekeeping succubus to advance into a companion type, requiring wholehearted love and willingness to sacrifice everything for his master, with Kin Mo being the only such case in the database, the two finally opened up to each other completely. Kin Mo spoiled her unconditionally, dropping his cold disguise entirely. Some time later, Jung Chuan visited as an after-sales staff member, mature and poised, conducting customer satisfaction surveys. Kin Mo remained possessive and guarded when Waishi tightly. Faced with the survey questions, when Waishi expressed full satisfaction with Kin Mo and never had the thought of returning him, relaxed and proud, Kin Mo clung to her affectionately. Kin Mo finally confessed he had fallen in love with when Waishi at first sight. His initial coldness and aloofness were all learned from love strategies online, pretending to be reserved and playing hard to get in a clumsy secret crush. Amused and moved, when Waishi let go of all misunderstandings, from misunderstandings cohabitation up to succubi, identity revelation to mutual affection, they finally stayed together sweetly forever.